and welcome to another edition of BCR Webcasting. I'm very happy to be joined today by Alla Papaika, who's head of the investment department at Dun. Alla, welcome. Alla, you're going to be talking at our Trade and Investment Forum, which is on next week at the offices of HSBC in Canary Wharf, London, as you know.
Yeah.
And the panel you're going to be talking about, or the subject of your panel is de-risking SME trade assets to deliver high-yield transactions to institutional investors. So,
Yes.
um, I'd like to ask you a couple of questions about that. Let's start with SME assets, which have traditionally been seen as high risk. Do you still view them as high risk? Does Dun view them as high risk? How's that view changed, perhaps by Dun and in recent years?
Well, Michael, hello. Hello, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity to participate at this webcast. Yes, you're right. Very interesting question. Historically, SME assets have been considered as a high risk, mainly due to factors such as lack of financial reporting, general low visibility and low data access, higher default rates, limited collateral as well. But what I see, it's changing now, and it's changing dramatically through structuring transactions. So we can see a lot of structures that make risk transparent and manageable as a result, and that may do also through prepayment self-liquidation accounts that can be used in transactions. That can be done by owning an inventory and using this inventory as a collateral, and also using the bonded warehouses. Another way to minimize this risk, SME risk, let's say SME related risk, is to pay directly to suppliers instead of SMEs. So a lot of measures now is used, and actually in Dun, all these measures have been effectively implemented. So Dun controls the transactions and de-risk each step of this transaction from the very beginning, from placing the order with non-refundable prepayment to managing logistic, custom clearance, inventory management, and of course, intermediation, all the payments. So this SME risk is no longer invisible. It becomes manageable if it's properly structured. So
It's almost like you're taking on the risk of the
yeah,
SME,
yeah, yeah,
moving it and, as I say, taking it on yourself.
yeah.
Um,
But this is the process of, like, the question of structuring your deal.
hmm.
Well, if you have visibility, if you have control, you have operational control, you minimize these risks. And this is the only approach you can use.
Okay, and this is the third trade investment forum event we've run. Something that's come up in previous events is the issue, sometimes seen as difficulty, of getting investors used to the type of language that's used within receivables and payables finance. It's thought that a lot of investors find it a little bit complicated and maybe confusing because different labels are used for the same products, like supply chain finance is also called reverse factoring, supplier finance, confirm.
Yeah.
Um, is this something you've seen, and if so, how do you deal with it?
Well, from my experience, yes, I see this. I can say that is this problem is dramatic, let's say, because if investors see the interest in these transactions, since they have this, let's say, risk appetite, and it in their, let's say, investment frame, it's very easy to find a common language. And of course, you should, let's say, present your transactions, your deals in understandable way. For example, in Dan, we wraps the real trade in financial language that is understandable for investor. Instead of offering a pool for SME lending or SME invoices, we structure that as a, let's say, digital promissory notes transactions. And since you present a clear structure, that brings additional comfort from the risk mitigation prospect. So, and also when we are using, let's say, standard legal frameworks, for example, Dan applies ML ETR compliant instruments. So that gives opportunity to use digitized, tokenized instruments, such as promissory notes I've already mentioned. So these are, let's say, common language that investors use, and they understand and we understand each other. And so we deliver, let's say, simplicity and trust. It's it's no longer a niche of SME exposure. It can be standardized short-term credit product, and that's all.
Okay, so if the risk is acceptable, the returns are acceptable.
If you use, let's say, understandable common technology, or you use understandable the same legal framework, so this is the same language you are talking to funder, to investor, to whatever participant of the market.
Yeah. And you have seen your business expanding quite significantly in the last 2, 3, 4 years.
Yes, yes,
Do you see
yes.
that? Do you see this whole market opening up for what you're doing, and other players coming on board and growing the whole market so it becomes perhaps more mainstream?
Yeah, what I see and what all the participants now see, the shift is already happening. Yes. And for example, if we're talking about Dan, last year we did $200 million in real trade. And to understand this figure, previous year it was only 75, and previous year it was only 40. So you can imagine how we are scaling, and generally the market is scaling as well. So like investors now, they are hungry for decent yield and they are looking for diversification. So SME trade flows became attractive once they are properly structured. And also, when you can, for example, propose or show this product as a platform solution that also gives you additional visibility and lower operational risk, all these measures bring additional comfort for investors.
What sort of returns can investors expect?
That is the mid or middle teens, I would say.
Oh, really? Okay, right.
Yeah, yeah.
Quite significant then. But
Yes.
yeah, but of course that has to be balanced with the risk aspect as well.
Of course. But it's this is the place where you can find this double-digit yield, So why not?
Okay. Well, very, very interesting, Anna, and thank you very much for talking to us today. And we'll certainly look forward to hearing more about your business and de-risking SME trade assets in your session next week, which just to remind everyone is our Trade and Investment Forum, and that is going to take place at the offices of HSBC in Canary Wharf in London. So
Thank you.
Look forward to seeing you in person there, Anna, and thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Michael. Looking forward to see you there. Just
all right.
Bye.
Take care and bye for now.
Yeah, bye. See you there.